All right, let's dive straight in. For you listening, there's no doubt the Lakers Timberwolves Game 2 matchup is, well, it's top of mind after that tough Game 1 loss.
Yeah.
Tonight is absolutely critical. They really need this win before heading off to Minnesota.
Precisely. Yeah, falling to 0-2 with the next two on the road, that just puts any team in a really challenging position.
For sure.
And for this deep dive, you flagged an article from Yardbarker, originally via NBA, on clutch points, right? It features some pretty interesting thoughts from Austin Reaves on what the Lakers need to adjust for tonight.
Exactly. So our mission here is to really try and understand Reeves' perspective, maybe his blueprint, you could call it, for how the Lakers might level the series in this huge Game 2.
Okay.
So let's get into the key points he was making.
Sounds good. So Reaves really seemed to focus on the concepts of the team being connected and everyone giving everything they have on every possession.
Right.
When you look back at Game 1, what does that emphasis kind of suggest might have been missing?
Yeah, it does make you wonder if the cohesion just wasn't quite there, that sort of unified purpose that, often fuels playoff victories. And his call for being more locked in to every detail on both ends of the floor, that really highlights it.
Yeah.
It's not just about general effort, but a really sharp, detail-oriented focus.
Yeah.
And he points out, quite rightly, that in the playoffs, those small details, they can be the deciding factor.
It really brings up an interesting point about what connectedness even looks like on the court, right?
Yeah.
We might think about things like players, anticipating passes, maybe seamless switches on defense, or just a collective understanding of spacing on offense.
Yeah, maybe some of that stuff was lacking.
Perhaps some of those elements were lacking in Game 1, maybe leading to some breakdowns. And when he talks about small details, we could be talking about, well, anything from securing rebounds to executing crisp box outs, just making that extra pass.
All those little things.
Exactly. And, Reaves himself acknowledging he needs to be better in Game 2. That also speaks volumes, I think, about that individual accountability within the team structure.
Definitely. It's that collective and individual responsibility that can really shift momentum in a series. Now, okay, the big talking point after Game 1 was the Timberwolves' clear advantage in physicality. What did our source provide on how the Lakers are approaching that aspect for tonight?
Well, Lakers head coach J.J. Redick, he addressed this pretty head-on, actually. He labeled their Game 1 lack of physicality an aberration.
An aberration, huh? Okay.
Yeah, he referenced their track record since about mid-January, suggesting they've actually been among the more physical teams in the league during that stretch. So he seems to believe Saturday's game was just an outlier.
Right, like a one-off. And Reeves' comments certainly seem to support that, especially when he talks about the disparity in fouls.
Ah, yes.
The article highlighted that the Lakers didn't get whistled for a single foul in the entire first quarter. Not one. And for a good portion of the second quarter, too. Wow. Reeves' reaction, which was quoted as, "That's probably a good indication of that," is pretty telling, isn't it?
It really is. What's fascinating there is the sort of implied link between a lack of fouls and a potential lack of, well, aggressive engagement.
Exactly.
It's not necessarily about trying to commit fouls, but often when a team is playing with real force and intensity on both ends, some contact is just, natural. It happens. The fact that the Lakers weren't drawing any fouls early on could suggest they weren't really asserting themselves physically, maybe allowing the Timberwolves to dictate the terms a bit too much.
Yeah, maybe a step slow or just hesitant in their approach.
Could be. Makes you wonder.
It really underscores how these different elements, effort, focus, physicality, they're all kind of intertwined, aren't they?
Cool.
You can't really have one consistently without the others, and especially against a strong physical team like the Timberwolves in a playoff environment.
No way.
And all of this, well, it brings us to the undeniable pressure surrounding Game 2 tonight.
Absolutely. As the article emphasizes, being down 0-1 in a best-of-7 series, it just elevates tonight's home game to pretty much a must-win situation for the Lakers.
It really does feel like that.
The clear objective has to be to even the series up at one game apiece before they have to head to Minnesota. The challenge now is, can the Lakers translate Reaves' understanding of the issues into, actual tangible changes on the court?
There's no doubt about it. Starting a series 0-2, especially if you drop both home games, man, that puts a team in a really, really deep hole.
Oh, yeah. Historically tough to climb out of.
So just to summarize then, based on what Austin Reaves was saying, the Lakers' path to a Game 2 victory seems to hinge on a noticeable increase in their cohesion as a unit,
Right, connectedness.
an unwavering commitment to maximum effort on every single possession,
Every single one.
and a really determined effort to match, maybe even exceed, the Timberwolves' physicality. It's about consistently executing those fundamental details throughout the entire game.
And if we kind of look at the broader context here, it's a powerful reminder, isn't it? That in playoff basketball, sometimes sheer talent takes a backseat to factors like, will, focus, and just the consistent execution of the fundamentals.
That's true.
Reeves' emphasis on these areas suggests the Lakers at least have a clear understanding of where they fell short in Game 1 and what immediate adjustments are probably necessary.
Yeah, knowing is one thing, doing it is another. So for you, our listener, thinking about Reeves' focus on those small details, what specific on-court adjustments do you think will be the most critical for the Lakers to even the series tonight?
Good question.
How might that interplay between, connectedness, relentless effort, and increased physicality actually look in those small victories that can ultimately decide the game?
Mm-hmm. Lots to watch for.
Definitely something to consider as you tune in. Okay, thanks for taking this deep dive with us.